Hello everybody. I just thought I'd do an update. When I said the other day I had a lot of new films, so I usually try and do an update like once a month when I buy them when I get paid, but I've been busy renovating my house and working at my new job and stuff, so I haven't been able to do one for a while. So I've got a backlog of a few months worth, but I'm not going to talk about them too much. It makes the the video long. I'll go over some of them briefly, but if anybody wants to know any more information or review or anything, just let me know in the comments. So, got Infinity Pool, directed by Brandon Cronenberg, son of David. I think it's his third film, probably his best film. I thought Possessor was a bit more sort of gory and edgy, and this is more of a sci-fi. Well, so was Possessor, but yeah, it's a good film. It's quite weird in a kind of way. You can understand it, but yeah, I enjoyed it, but I probably won't watch it again for a little while. But Mia Goth is amazing in it. One of the best roles I've seen in a long time. Her voice when she's like calling him a baby and stuff is really, yeah, best sort of role I've seen from a female actor. Sorry, my cat's meowing in the background. Talking to Mia Goth, you've got Pearl. I think this is like the prequel to X, also by Ty West, which I have seen X, but I haven't watched this one yet. So don't know too much about it, but imagine it's only a 15, so it's probably not as brutal as X. But yeah, again, Mia Goth in it, sort of best thing in horror at the moment. And you've got John Wick 4 with Keanu Reeves. Seen 1, 2, and 3. Haven't seen this one yet. Wasn't going to get it because I was like, it's getting a bit tired. Number 3 was probably the worst one. This one's 3 hours long. I have actually heard not only is this the best in the series, but some people saying it's the best action film in a long time. So looking forward to watching that. Pig with Nicolas Cage. Not sure what to think about this when you hear the summary. Basically, he's got a pig that's really good at rooting for truffles, and it gets stolen. Then he goes on a revenge quest to get it back. But yeah, really good, better than I thought. I thought it'd be like a revenge sort of violent film, but it's actually a bit more of like an emotional. And it's got Alex Wolff in it out of Hereditary. Really good, both of them good. Yeah, I picked that up secondhand for £5 in CEX, whatever you call it. Pray for the Devil. It had quite good reviews on Amazon. I kind of like possession films, hoping it'd be a bit like, Exorcist or Emily Rose. Is that what it's called? Possession of Emily Rose? But wasn't too great to tell you the truth. It had a few silly bits and it's a bit contrived and far-fetched. It wasn't an awful film. I like 6 or 7 out of 10. Knock at the Cabin. Heard good things about this, but with M. Night Shyamalan, it can go either way. I think some of his films like Last Airbender and The Village and that were pretty bad, whereas some like Sixth Sense and The Signs are really good. So I imagine this has got some kind of twist. But yeah, I really like Batista. Used to be a wrestler, I think, and he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, is it? I think so. He was really good in that. So yeah, I've heard pretty good things about it. I think it's more of a thriller than a horror. If anyone's seen my Arrow video showing all my collection, then you would have seen this one the other day. If not, here's an update. So it's the Arrow video. I think it's called Enter the Video Shop, Video Store. But it's basically Empire Films. I think Charles Band owned them before he owned... I can't think of Charles Band's. I'm having a mental block now. Obviously released Puppet Master and all those kind of film. Will come to me in a second. But yeah, so on that you've got Dungeon Master, Dolls, Cellar Dweller, Arena, and Robot Jocks. Dungeon Master's kind of like a sci-fi. Dolls is a horror. Cellar Dweller's a horror. I think Arena's a sci-fi, and I think Robot Jocks is a sci-fi. A bit kind of like Pacific Rim, but made like 20, 30 years before on a way lower budget. So far I've only seen Dungeon Master, Dolls, and Cellar Dweller, although I haven't revisited that. Cellar Dweller, I haven't seen it in a long time. And you've got VHS 99. Thought this was good, actually. 1 or 2 segments weren't too great, but I guess you get that with these sort of, what do you call them, not like a compilation, but yeah, I thought it was one of the better VHS. Probably not as good as 1 and 2, but I haven't seen 1, 3 and 4 technically. I can't remember what they're called, but I heard those weren't great. So this is apparently a bit more of a return to form. One of the segments was like Stand Out, and the other 2 weren't great. Good music in it, which I think might be done by Flying Lotus, but yeah, pretty good on the whole as far as Omnibus. Yeah, I think that's what you call it. Hatching. I think this is a Danish film. This is really good. I was actually quite surprised. It's quite sort of I wouldn't say disturbing, but quite gory and intense. The creature looks really good acting, good story, good pacing. Yeah, I was quite surprised how good this was. I thought it could have come off as silly if, the way the creature looked and acted wasn't up to par, and I think the film would have collapsed. But no, I was actually quite surprised. I'd say out of most of these ones I've got in the last few months, that Hatchin is actually one of the better films. X by Ty West, Mia Goth in it again. Obviously, like I said about where is it? Pearl. So I think that's a kind of sequel to this. Yeah, this one. Obviously, it's sort of X. You can guess it's kind of therefore filming like a porn film, so it's quite sort of what's the word? Graphic, but not like pornographic. Yeah, it's got some real good like sort of slasher gore. Quite a good story. A few twists you don't see. The main villains in it are really good. I won't say too much about it because it'll take too long. Ebola syndrome. This is what I think they call Cat 1 films from Asia. I've not seen this one yet, but I've seen another one. I think it was called... what's it called? He's basically some guy who works in a chef and he's a cannibal, which also stars this same guy. His name's Anthony Wong. Yeah, he's one of the best actors from these. Basically, a guy who realizes he's immune to Ebola, so he gets it and tries to spread it to as many people as possible. It might be a pretty brutal, sort of messed up film, as you'd imagine, from those Cat 1 Asian films. The Batman. Got this one because it was cheap. I think it was only like 5-6 quid. Heard quite good things about this. It's very long, so I haven't watched it yet. I think it's about 3 hours, but I'm a fan of the original Batman, Batman Returns, and then the Dark Knight trilogy. Not a fan of Batman Forever or Batman and Robin, or I've never seen Ben Affleck's Batman versus Superman or whatever it was, but I've not heard great things. Whereas, yeah, I've heard this is really good with Robert Pattinson. You know, I didn't used to like in Twilight, but in The Lighthouse he was great, and apparently he's good in David Cronenberg's Metropolis. So he's starting to be in a few sort of more underground art house films you wouldn't expect him to be in. You've got Snowtown. I already own this, but this is the 101 Collector's Edition. Got this on sale on HMV for, I think it was only about 8 quid or so, maybe 10. But yeah, I'd say this is one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen. It's based on a real events that happened in Australia. I think it's called like the Bodies in the Barrels. But basically, he's guy and his brother, and he basically coerces other people in to help him, but he's going around like killing pedos, and I think he like kills some gay people that aren't even pedos and tries to justify it. But pretty brutal and depressing on the whole. But there's one scene where he's like strangling a guy, which is probably the most painful sort of scene to watch. It just goes on so long, very brutal. Then you've got Dune. I think that's David Lynch's, which I'm quite surprised David Lynch ever made this, because you sort of look at a lot of his other films, you wouldn't imagine him to sort of direct a main sort of big budget film. And not heard great things about this. I've heard the newer remake is better, but haven't watched it yet, so I thought I'll see. And obviously I just try and collect a lot of Arrows, but yeah, I got that in the Arrow sale in HMV for about 8 quid, I think. Same as this one. Mega Time Squad, New Zealand film. Looks like it's going to be quite silly, and it's kind of like a martial arts film, bit of a comedy, sci-fi, not really horror, but a lot wrapped up into one. And yeah, actually quite surprised how much I enjoyed this. That goes down as like a proper cult film, really, where, yeah, I'd never heard of that. Expected it to be like quite tacky, but it's actually quite a good film. Yeah, I was quite surprised at that. Again, that was in the HMV sale, about £8. Same as Psycho 2. Heard a lot of people say this is if not the best horror sequel ever. One of the better sequels other than, say, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and maybe Aliens, but I do prefer Alien 1, which is the classic Alien. But yeah, this, I wouldn't say it's better than Psycho, the original, which obviously is a classic, but that's in black and white. Whereas, yeah, really good acting from Anthony Perkins. There's Norman Bates. Good atmosphere. The house is like really good, like one of the main characters in it. Yeah, it's a good film overall. Yeah, I was quite surprised at that. I really enjoyed it. And you've got this collector's edition of Naked Lunch from Arrow, which obviously all these Arrow ones I have showed in my last update video when I was showing like the whole collection of Arrow and boutique sort of collectible ones. Really messed up film, bizarre, weird, hard to understand, based on a book by William S. Burroughs that people said was unfilmable, and David Cronenberg made it filmable. But yeah, not one of my favourite David Cronenberg films, but a few moments in it are just weird that are worth watching it for. And you've got Mario Bava Shark, another Arrow one, which was in my last update, but again, I just showing all the sort of films I picked up in the last 3 months. Never actually seen this or heard that much about it, but I got that one in CEX secondhand for about £6 or so, which, considering it's got the slipcase, and they were asking for 18 or so in HMV for this new one, thought that was quite good value. Then I did show this one last time, but got the Grudge collection. Most of them ain't too great, to tell you the truth, other than the original Grudge, which you got on 4K. Grudge 2 ain't bad. The Curse was quite good. Curse 2, first half of it is just rehashing, going over the first film. Director sort of says in the intro, what's it called? Yeah, the introduction, that is to flesh it out so people know what happens, but I think it's more just to sort of take up half the running time, to tell you the truth. I'm not seeing White Ghost or Black Ghost, but I've not heard great things about them. But yeah, good collection to have. Really nice box set. And yeah, I guess the 4K alone would be worth like £25 of the Grudge, and I think I paid about £45.50 for this whole box. So to get the other films plus the little booklet is really nice. See if I can get it out and have a little check on it. Oh yes, you've got a poster and the booklet. I won't get it out now because it's a bit tight in there. I don't want to damage it. But yeah, so that's all the new films I've got recently. Oh, I think I did pick this one up. Did show it in the update, but yeah, it's the game. It's the Arrow Academy rather than Arrow Video. Got it on CX about £15-20, which I'm pretty sure is out of print. But it's basically a massive book with just like the Blu-ray inside of it, but quite a rare one to add to the collection. So yeah, I think that's all of the ones I've got in about the last 3 months or so, but I'll try not to wait so long to do the next update. Try and do one each month. So yeah, probably going out shopping in town again soon for some more Blu-rays. Just try not to spend too much on them. So I spent about a few hundred or something in the last month or so. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Comment down below if there's anything you want to know about the films, or me to do a review or unboxing of any of them or anything. Thank you for watching. Thanks, bye.